Do disputes at work make you feel overwhelmed? You're not by yourself. Let's discuss how to get out of those uncomfortable circumstances. Joan Goldsmith and Kenneth Cloke's book Resolving Conflicts at Work explains how conflicts, in the opinion of the writers, can present opportunities for development and the formation of stronger teams. Imagine being able to resolve conflicts at work amicably, fostering trust among co-workers, and fostering a calmer workplace. To assist you in doing so, the main ideas of the book will be broken down in this synopsis. Are you prepared to turn disagreement into cooperation? Kindly click the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell to make sure you don't miss any of this series. Recognize the culture and dynamics of conflict is the title of Chapter 1. It emphasizes how crucial it is to comprehend the underlying dynamics and culture that give rise to conflicts at work. The following are the key lessons this chapter imparts to us. First, cultural impact. An organization's culture has a big impact on how conflicts develop and are resolved. Conflicts can be lessened in a positive, open culture and increased in a bad, rigid one. Number 2, conflict dynamics. Conflicts involve more than simply the issues at hand. They also involve how those issues are viewed and addressed within the culture of the company. Understanding these relationships makes it easier to treat the underlying issues rather than just the symptoms. Listen responsibly and empathically is the title of Chapter 2. Draws attention to the effectiveness of attentive listening in resolving disputes. It highlights how important it is to genuinely comprehend the viewpoint of the other person to settle disagreements and identify common ground. What details does this chapter provide? First, engage in active listening. This involves paying attention to the feelings and underlying concerns being communicated in addition to only hearing what is being said. This aids in comprehending the conflict's overall context. Number 2. Empathy. By placing yourself in the other person's position, you can react in a way that respects and acknowledges their thoughts and worries, giving them a sense of being heard. Chapter 3's title is Look Below the Surface for Hidden Meanings. Highlights the fact that hidden layers are common in confrontations. It involves more than simply what is said out loud. It also involves underlying problems and feelings that aren't always apparent. Here are several strategies we ought to understand. First, surface versus depth. Although conflicts appear to be simple, there's usually more going on behind the scenes. Determining these more fundamental problems facilitates the development of more thorough fixes. Number 2. Emotional foundations. Identify the feelings underlying the dispute. Understanding the role that fear, irritation, or insecurity might play can help one respond with greater empathy. Chapter 4's title, Acknowledge and Reframe Emotions, examines the significance of identifying and resolving emotions in conflict situations. Conflicts are frequently fueled by emotions, therefore controlling them well can facilitate a more amicable resolution. What knowledge is so affected by this chapter? First and foremost, acknowledge people's emotions. This fosters trust by demonstrating your understanding of others' viewpoints. Number 2. Reframe the situation. See emotions as hints to more serious problems rather than as roadblocks. Reframing facilitates the discussion's advancement and the discovery of workable answers. Divide what matters from what gets in the way is the title of Chapter 5. Emphasizes how crucial it is to discern between the essential concerns and the side issues that may make solutions more difficult. Resolving disagreements more skillfully can be achieved by focusing on what is important. What specifics is this chapter going to provide? First, determine core issues. Determine the primary issue that lies at the center of the dispute. By doing this, the core cause is addressed instead of being sidetracked by unimportant problems. Number 2. Avoid distractions. Recognize any ancillary problems or prejudices in yourself that could impair judgment and divert attention from the main conflict. Chapter 6 is titled Solve Paradoxically and Creatively. Promotes taking a multifaceted approach to issues and applying original thought to solve them. Occasionally, direct conflict resolution is insufficient. Creative problem solving might result in more fruitful outcomes. What can we learn from this chapter? First rule. Embrace paradoxes. Occasionally, non-conventional methods of resolving disputes work better than traditional ones. Investigate concepts that seem counterintuitive without fear. Second, promote originality. Thinking creatively is thinking beyond the box and being receptive to new ideas. Chapter 7's title, Learn from Difficult Behaviors, emphasizes making the most of challenging behaviors as chances for development and learning. Rather than seeing these behaviors as barriers, we might learn important lessons that improve our ability to resolve disagreements. Important observations to make in this chapter are as follows. First, recognize behavior. Difficult behaviors frequently result from more serious problems. You can resolve conflicts more effectively and address the underlying reasons by being aware of these behaviors. Number 2. Opportunity for insight. Take advantage of difficult behaviors to learn about underlying issues and dynamics. This can help develop more effective conflict management techniques. The title of Chapter 8 is Lead and Coach for Transformation. Highlights how coaching and leadership may change the way that disagreements are resolved in organizations. A more collaborative atmosphere can be created and disagreements can be resolved positively by others with the help of effective coaches and leaders. What new information does this chapter offer? First and foremost, set a good example by acting and thinking like a conflict resolution expert. Your method establishes a norm for how other people ought to resolve disputes. Number 2. Coaching for growth. Provide team members with the guidance and mentorship they need to improve their ability to resolve conflicts. They are more equipped to handle problems on their own as a result. Explore resistance and negotiate collaboratively is the title of Chapter 9. Focuses on identifying strategies for negotiation that promote collaboration over confrontation and on comprehending and resolving resistance during conflicts. It involves transforming resistance into a useful component in the process of finding a solution. The following are some tactics. First, recognize resistance. Resistance frequently indicates underlying worries or anxieties. You can address the underlying issues and come up with solutions that work for everyone if you investigate these. Number 2. Collaborative negotiation. Adopt a collaborative rather than competitive approach when entering into negotiations. Strive for solutions that foster agreement and benefit all sides. Mediate and design systems for prevention is the title of Chapter 10. Discusses the value of mediation in resolving disputes and looks at methods for setting up procedures and systems that reduce the likelihood that disputes would arise in the future. It places a strong emphasis on taking preventive action to manage conflicts well and lessen their frequency. What does this chapter instruct us on? First, effective mediation. In mediation, a third party who is impartial assists in facilitating conversations and identifying solutions that both parties can agree upon. It's a useful instrument for settling conflicts and coming to agreements. Number 2. Create preventive systems. You can stop problems before they get out of hand by putting in place systems like frequent training, clear communication guidelines, and conflict resolution procedures. You now know how to use workplace disagreements as learning opportunities. Recall that every conflict presents an opportunity to strengthen teams. Use these pointers to establish a more tranquil workplace. Remember to hit the notification bell to ensure you never miss an update and to subscribe to our channel for additional content.